Welcome, time travelers, to our introduction of some amazing new GMs to the Ancient Journey podcast. We have our second GM, Em Hubbard, running this cozy mystery one-shot for the month of November. This is a reminder that there may be mature content depicted in our gameplay, but the players and the GM are using safety tools, and all content warnings will be in the description below. Please welcome his cast, Pan, Byxx, and myself, in this Brindlewood Bay one-shot, An Alabaster Fowl.
Welcome, everyone. Today we are playing Brindlewood Bay, a game of cozy horror where our players will be elderly women from the Brindlewood Bay Mystery Mavens Mystery Book Club, solving a mystery in our little northeastern town of Brindlewood Bay. This is... I love this game, partly because as a mystery, I have set up some locations, some suspects, and a list of clues, but I don't know the answer to the whodunit. So you, my players, will be figuring out everything. You will collect clues and ultimately together solve the crime. And your ideas, along with a dice roll, will determine what actually happened. Or if you roll badly, like you were just doing, what didn't happen, I guess. So this is a Powered by the Apocalypse based game. So for all of your rolls, you'll be rolling 2d6 on below a 7 or a 6 or lower, you failed. On a 7 to 9, it's kind of a mix, and 10 or better is a full success on any of the things that you decide to try to do in this game. I do want to say I'm playing this game basically by the rules as written, to the best that I know them. I have not run this game before, but I'm feeling pretty confident. The one place where I have am stepping away from it is that the dark conspiracy, as written in the game text, the kind of Lovecraftian weird stuff that's going on underneath the regular mysteries, is going to be different from what's canon in the book. Other than that, we are sticking pretty close to the game. So,
Are you about to get started?
I'm about to get started. Are we all right?
Okay. Can you make sure everyone did their lines and veils before you start?
Yes. Yeah, that was what I was just looking at. Has everyone completed the lines and veils sheet that was given out earlier?
Think so.
Okay.
I didn't want to say like interested in any of them,
Okay.
because that felt weird.
Yeah.
Eldritch.
But like I don't have a problem with playing in a world with any of those things. So
Okay.
I also didn't put any veil.
Yeah, I technically would have been fine with any of that, but it's like for the sake of having something, I put down some things.
Yeah. And the way that I tend to GM, most of the stuff that's a line or a veil on here are things that I would stay away from anyway. So the listeners know we have gone through and completed our lines and veils for this game. It is a murder mystery, so there will be murder. And it is a kind of quirky horror game, so there will be some horror elements involved as well.
Just 3 Mavens rolling dice top of the corpse, trying to figure out who done it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
by the way,
yeah.
I usually will take content warnings from like listening. So if there's anything
Yes.
that I missed when I put this thing out, just tell me and I'll add it.
Sure thing. All right. I think everybody's kind of done the character creation bit, but I'm going to run through that anyway, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So we all have names already. I know that. Has everyone chosen a style on your character sheet? Or
I made
invented
up one. Yeah.
Okay. So
I did
let's
choose
let's
one.
actually let's go ahead and I'll just have everybody say their name as a player and also their character's name, and then we'll kind of sorry, I'm like redeciding what we're doing every minute that we go by. Let's go one by one and we'll run through your characters. Okay. I'm gonna go. First person who appears on the Discord is Byxx. So, Byxx, will you tell us who you are and your character's name?
I'm Byxx, the one casually eating spaghetti, who's playing the rickety old lady named Marilyn Monroe. Not the Marilyn Monroe, but a Marilyn Monroe. I can't speak, but there you go.
And what is your style?
Martha's Vineyard.
Okay. Lots of beige.
She
Cardigans.
very beige old lady like with her little
Okay.
ankle biter.
All right. And what is your cozy activity?
I chose pottery for the sake of being able
Alright.
to throw said pottery at the culprit's head. Yes.
That is a good thing to have around. And the next thing after cozy activity is your abilities.
602-235-06.
I'm hearing someone's phone. Okay.
That was my Alexa.
Okay. So you have 5 abilities: vitality, composure, reason, presence, and sensitivity. This was honestly a little confusing to me in the book, but what I think you do is add 1 to one of those scores that's listed in on the character sheet, and the others will stay the same.
The others will stay the same from.
So it's what it says already is 0. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
0, 1, 1, 0, -1 is what's set there already. And you'll add 1 to one of those. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
how I understood it.
Yeah. It's not super clear, but okay. So I think yeah, we'll go to the next. So Pan, will you introduce yourself and your character's name?
Okay. Hello. I am Pan. I have a YouTube channel called Pan42 Tarot where I read tarot. So that's fun. Anyway, my character is Esther Wood. She has the style of Blanche Devereaux from The Golden Girls, but the personality of Sophia, the mom that just rants stories from the kitchen table all the time.
Awesome.
So she's very brightly colored in her dress and very loud in her personality.
Nice.
And her cozy activity, I said making a cup of tea with booze in it if it's a real tense situation. And then I added 1 to presence. So now I have 0, 1, 1, 1, -1.
That makes sense. All right, and Tanya?
Before me, Marilyn, what does Marilyn look like? I don't know if you said what she looks like.
Yeah, Byxx, can you give us a bit more of Marilyn's look?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Sorry, I died there for a second. I was confused of what you meant. Gosh, okay. What she actually looks like?
Yeah.
Like her getup. Okay. Sorry. Hmm. Definitely, like you said, beige. Lots of beige. You know those what's it called? Those pantsuits. She'd probably wear a beige pantsuit
Oh.
with a cardigan over it.
Okay.
I can see that.
So we have someone very colorful, someone very beige. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will. Yeah. Were you gonna say?
All right. So, Tanya?
Yeah. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just going to turn the mic over to you.
Okay. Okay. Let me pull up my. So I am TanyaLashea. I'll be playing Girty Harper Santino. I chose for her style Dorothy Spornak. So I'm thinking she's like an older black lady from like New York who like married an Italian. That's what I'm going for there. And then her cozy activity, I have cooking, and then I added one to reason. And she is a type of woman that looks like constantly bundled up, like she's like constantly cold. She also usually wears like oversized clothes, so like an oversized scarf, oversized like gloves, oversized coat, because she's very petite and tiny. She has like completely white hair. However, she never tells you exactly how old she is. She just constantly talks about how long she's lived on this planet, but the numbers are always different every time she talks about it. And that's Girty.
All right. And you have a bonus cozy activity as well, right? From your move.
Oh, from the extra? Yes. Which one did I choose? I chose. I think it's gardening.
Herbalism. So you have the
Herbalism.
move
Yeah,
Cadfael. You're a highly skilled herbalist. Yeah. So
that's right.
that'll be your additional cozy activity. All right. So I'm going to go through back to the top and ask you each to answer 3 questions. I'm going to ask each player to describe 3 key aspects of their Maven's backstory: their deceased partner, their children, if any, and pets are okay here, and their career before they retired to Brindlewood Bay. So back to Byxx. Can you tell us about your deceased partner, your children or pets, and your career before you retired to Brindlewood Bay?
Good thing I wrote this all out before.
Yeah.
Meryl. I can't even say my own character's name. Marilyn Monroe. Her deceased partner is named Jackson Monroe. He died from a heart attack when he was 54. They had one child named Cassidy, who went off and started her own family already, who occasionally visit. After their child left and the death of her husband, she ended up getting a pet Papillon named Pee-Pee. During her prime, P-I-P-I, not. Okay. During her prime, she worked as a home designer, or now known as a house flipper. So, yeah.
All right. So now the rest of us are each going to name one object that can be found in your Maven's home in Brindlewood Bay. So based on those things that you've just said, you will have some objects to add to the cozy little place in your character sheet. And these can be just anything that you think of from what was just said. I am going to say that Marilyn has a very fancy collar for pee-pee.
Amazing. Fancy, fancy collar.
Yeah.
Your glitter.
So Pan or Tanya, do you have something that's come to mind as a cozy object?
Yeah, I'll
Does it?
say a antique pocket watch that was a gift from her husband.
Nice. And Pan, what
Does
were you
it?
about to say?
Does it have to be particularly cozy?
Not at all.
Like,
No.
okay, cool. Because then I'm gonna say, because she was like a house flipper, she's got like her favorite like paint scraper thing that like everybody who's like taken apart furniture or houses or anything has their special scraper tool that can do basically anything. So she has her
Nice.
own little paint scraper tool. That's her favorite.
Excellent. And these objects that are on your character sheet under a cozy little place, if there comes a time in the story where you feel like you can use those, you can check one off in order to get a get advantage on your roll. So you'll only be able to use each one once. But all right. So next up, Pan, can you tell us about your, or rather about Esther's deceased partner, her children, if any, and her career before she retired to Brindlewood Bay?
So Esther Wood married John Wood. He is a man of old money, which is why she is retired here in the north. She had two children with John later in life because she didn't meet John until much later. So they're actually they're not like married with kids and stuff. They're still in their mid 30s or younger. And she's like the older mom. Anyway, so she has two kids, one named Jackie and one named James. And they're pretty boring as far as she's concerned. Before she retired, she basically did everything, which is why she didn't meet John until much later. She was a world traveler. She was a flight attendant. She was a cruise performer. She was a stripper. She's been done every job known to man, and that's how she ended up meeting John and being so fascinating to him that he married her. So he's had every job there is. Not really a career, but after she married John, they continued to travel and explore the world. And when he died, she decided to settle down. That's it.
Very nice. Cool. And you said she finds her children to be kind of boring.
Yeah, because they are like went to college and like did responsible adult things, and she's like, "What? Why? We have all this money."
Nice. I love that. All right. Does anybody have an item in mind for Esther?
Bougie scarf.
Yeah,
All
that makes
right.
sense.
I'll say for a woman who's done almost everything, I feel like you'll have a weird collection. Because I'm looking at myself right now as you talk. Like, I feel like you'd have like a collection of like either like you can choose either like a collection of novelty flasks or like novelty shot glasses or novelty like magnets, like the stuff you would get at a gift shop.
It would definitely be like flasks for sure.
Oh, I was totally gonna say flask.
Woman after my own heart. I literally have a collection of flasks.
Hmm. All right, I'm gonna keep thinking because I was like hard on flask, and now I need to think of another one. So I'll come back around. But Tanya, will you tell us about Girty? Girty's deceased partner, her children, if any, or pets, and her career before retiring to Brindlewood Bay.
Yes, I did not write any of this beforehand, so I'm making it up on the whim. I'm going to say she married her college sweetheart, so they both went to university together, and that's where they met. His name is Elijah Santino. I'll say they went to NYU. She has lived her whole life in like a smaller town, but then she moved to the city of New York to go to college. But she's lived in a smaller town in New York for a very long time. So I don't know where this is set right now, but where she's moved to retire, this is her probably her second time outside of her hometown, other than college. She has 6 children.
Whoa.
Who are obviously all adults. And I'll say most of them, let's say they live somewhere in the East Coast still. And recently, since her husband passed, she has got one cat. They actually had a cat together, and this cat is now also very, very old. And that's her one pet. And I will name her Carly. And I is her cat's name. For her career, she actually went to school to be a natural like healer. So she was a researcher in like natural medicines, ancient healing. She did a lot of like yoga. She did a lot of like adventure trips where she kind of like showed people how to live off the land. She has like a survivalist certificate. She's one of those people. So she did that type of stuff when she was younger. And then when she started to have children and got older, she really became a stay-at-home mom for the later years in her life. So, and now she's retired. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. Before we do the cozy little activities, jumping back to Esther, the object I'm going to give you is a very fancy car.
Nice.
Nice.
You can
Cozy little
interpret
place kind
fancy.
of has a very fancy car.
Yeah. So how about for Girty?
You know how people will have like little like something usually specific like a blanket or a towel whenever they like find a cat or like a little animal and they wrap it up. Imagine she still has like the first like towel or blanket that she would like wrap up Carly in.
Nice.
Cute.
I'm gonna say a pair of pruning shears for your gardening and herbs.
And I'm gonna say that she has Didn't you say way at the beginning that she married an Italian?
Yep, she's a mean cook.
He's a mean cook?
No, she's a really good cook.
She's a good cook. Okay. So, I think I'm going to say she has like a favorite rolling pin. That's one of those ones that has like the cool cutouts to make those Italian cookies with.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They're really fancy ones.
Those can really hurt you if they.
Oh yeah, they're heavy as fuck.
That's why you get advantage to that roll. So, Tanya, I heard you say you're not sure exactly where we are, so I'm going to jump back and just read this from the book. Brindlewood Bay is a small coastal community in Massachusetts. A whaling town in the 18th and 19th centuries, it is now largely a tourist spot. Many locals have turned their homes into bed and breakfasts, and the town has antique shops, comfy dining spots, and artists and artisans of all kinds. Guided fishing trips are common. You are all members of the Murder Mavens Mystery Book Club that has been meeting on the top floor of the Candlelight Booksellers every Saturday evening for the last 10 years. The Murder Mavens are particularly fond of the Gold Crown Mysteries series by Robin Masterson, featuring the globe-trotting super sleuth Amanda Delacour. The Mavens themselves are all elderly women whose partners have passed away and whose children have long flown the nest. Now they're enjoying their golden years in the picturesque town of Brindlewood Bay, pursuing their hobbies and finding comfort and companionship in each other. You're also all amateur detectives. So by the time the game starts, you've already helped local police solve several high-profile crimes. Sometimes people approach you, sometimes you just stumble into the case. So that completes our character creation, which they said would take 15 minutes, and it didn't. But I'll forgive them. So I'm going to skip their suggested break right now. We'll take a little break in a little bit, and dive into the game. So we're beginning this game on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So the next step in our play is back to your character sheet. You're each going to mark 2 end of session questions. So these are just things that you will try to do during the game. If this wasn't going to be a one-shot, this would get you experience points, but this is just kind of a little extra guide to what you're going to do in this session. So you can go ahead and choose 2 of those. And of course, solving a mystery is always one of your goals. And we're going to, here again, I'm going to move a little bit away from the text as written. This part, each player would narrate a short vignette showing their Mavens enjoying their life in Brindlewood Bay. I'm going to guide you a little bit in this and say that your weekly meeting of the Mystery Mavens Book Club has just ended. It's Sunday evening, not too late, but you've each kind of left the upstairs of the Candlelight bookstore and have gone to your homes or to a tea shop or wherever you might have gone. So I'd like each player to narrate just a little vignette showing your Maven doing whatever you're doing immediately after or shortly after your book club meeting has ended. The scenes should be light and breezy or warm and cozy, and they should show the Maven enjoying her hobbies. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask if you were okay with going first.
Yeah. All right. Gosh, I regret naming her this because now I can never say it. I swear, my speech is terrible.
Give your nickname though, right? You can go with Manny.
Oh yeah, I could just go Manny. All right, Manny. Whenever she gets home,
Manny.
yeah, because it's like Marilyn. It kind of sounds like Manny. It's the whole
Okay.
entire thing with like someone being named Robert and they call him Bob and stuff. It's Manny. All right.
Okay.
She's
Never
at
question an elderly person's nicknames.
never question. You don't ask them their age. You don't ask them their nickname or question. No. All right. So Manny, she has one of those small tables that has like the pedal to turn the little table for clay. She's like molding the clay. She's pushing the pedal, kind of just enjoying her time there while PP is trying to. Gosh, I regret naming the dog that now. Okay, while her dog is, trying to get her attention, because the dog's still pretty young and agile. So she's trying to get attention, trying to jump up on her leg, and she's like gently picking up the dog like with her foot and just moving it away while she's she's multitasking, but she's chilling, she's enjoying it.
All right.
I don't know how long this is supposed to be.
That's good. No, that's perfect. What is Esther up to?
Well, now I have this really fancy car, which I'm gonna say is a Mustang. So she has made herself a giant traveling mug of tea, and she is just cruising along the country roads as fast as possible and just enjoying her tea and her afternoon drive away from her friends after their meeting. And it's just like, she's one of those drivers that, like, because she's old, like, she thinks she's driving so fast, but there's like a line of cars behind her and everybody's like honking. They're like, you have this big muscle car. Why are you going fast? She's just like
Nice.
chilling.
Hopefully she
Wow,
didn't
what's
put a
on
bunch
the-
of alcohol in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please
Yeah,
tell me
let's
that's
hope
just
not.
tea.
Oh, well, I feel like her friends, she just left her friends, so I don't think she had a flask on her at the meeting because the mysteries are very important to her.
Good. And what's on the radio?
Oh, she likes doo-wop music, so yeah, doo-wop music.
Cool. Shaboom, shaboom.
Yeah, as loud
All
as
right.
possible.
Okay, how about Girty?
Girty is at her home, and she is probably rechecking her list of things she needs to make and take to her eldest daughter's house, where they now have Thanksgiving dinner. And she is probably just pottering around the house, getting things cleaned up, organized. She does have to pack. She's gonna have to go there next week. She's just getting herself in order, and just making sure that she has all the groceries she needs to make probably a couple. She probably brings the desserts. So like sweet potato, like too many desserts though, like sweet potato pies and pumpkin pies and apple pies and cherry pies. Like she comes with like as if there's a family of 50, because she likes to also give some of it to like the neighborhood, like neighbors and friends and things like that. So she makes a lot of stuff, and so people expect her to gift some of those when she's done. So that's what she's doing.
Great. So I'm going to kind of begin to introduce our mystery individually to each of you. We'll each get like a little bit of it. To tell you from the beginning, our mystery is called an Alabaster Fowl. Fowl like the bird, like a turkey. The complexity of the mystery is 6. So what that means is that you'll need to gather at least 3 clues before you can attempt to solve the mystery. Preferably more, because you take the number of clues that you've gathered subtract the complexity, and then that's the modifier for your roll. So more is better. I'm going to start with Girty and say, kind of, you've been bustling around, gathering things, have decided at some point to sit down in your favorite comfy chair or the couch, and the cat's curled up next to you, and you've dozed off, and leaning into Girty's witchiness, you have a strange dream of a large, dark, echoey space and a figure who you can't really make out any details of, walking this kind of echoing footsteps in a hurried pace. And you see looming above this figure, looks like a man. The figure looks like a man. Looming above him is an enormous white turkey, gigantic, that's high up above him and leaning toward him. And then there's sound of something striking several times, and the figure falls, and you see what you somehow just know to be cranberry sauce oozing across the floor underneath him. And you wake from this dream with a start. Meanwhile, Marilyn, or Manny, as you're working on your potter's wheel, can I say that you have the television on across the room?
Yeah, she probably would have the television on, just like random channels.
Yeah, you see a news report, the 6 o'clock news, breaking story. A prominent local real estate agent or real estate mogul, John Hanmore, has been found dead in his office. Police are still investigating, but word is that they have already arrested a suspect. The suspect's name has not been released yet. And I think I'll go ahead and just go with this question for you. You had an argument with Mr. Hanmore a few weeks ago. What were the circumstances?
What is he again? I heard it.
He's a real estate mogul. He buys and sells properties and is responsible for a lot of new development in town. A wealthy and important person.
I'll say she probably has a very old home, has not changed it. Just kept it, had the upkeep, and he wanted to try and buy it off her, and she would not allow it.
And it got
they
heated?
kind of argued over that. Yeah.
All right.
Because it's you're old. There's a nice retirement home just down the street. She's like, no, this is where I've lived.
Yep, that sounds about
What was his
right.
name again?
His name is John Hanmore. Hanmore. And Esther, you know a local public defender, a local lawyer named Randall Stein. It's probably like your kid's age. Young, kind of coming up in his law career. How do you know this person?
I got a bunch of parking tickets, and I fought them in court, I guess.
And I guess we could say
Is
maybe
he,
just
he's
a friend, I should say.
Or is he a lawyer?
He's a lawyer. He's a public defender, so he works for the town.
So I got a lot of parking tickets, and I kept going to City Hall where the court is, paying them off, and would just sit there and talk to people because I'm bored.
Okay. So you developed a friendship with this young man?
Yes, because he knows all the criminals, and they sell weed.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Just really changed this character for me. So as you're cruising along at a wild 35 miles per hour, you're
so wild.
Your cell phone rings.
What is his name?
Randall Stein.
Okay, I answer it.
Um,
Well, hello? Who's this then?
is this Esther? I'm Mrs. Wood.
Why,
It's
yes.
Randall Stein. Randall Stein. Do you remember me?
Oh, yes, of course I do. You're that young lawyer who is a wonderful public defender.
Yeah, that's me.
What's going on, Randall?
I'm calling. I'm hoping for a little bit of help from you and your friends, maybe. It's a new case that's come in. A new client of mine that I just got this evening. And I feel like she's being railroaded here, and hoping that you and your friends might be able to look into the case a little bit.
Why, the murder mavens are always on call, dear. Let me just get a hold of the girls and we'll come right down to the jailhouse.
Yeah, it's probably better if the DA doesn't really know that I'm calling you. Could I meet you somewhere or something like that?
Yes. Why don't we meet at Manny's house? You know, Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, Miss Marilyn. She's one of the murder mavens. She's got a nice little pottery barn out back, and it's very private. No one could see us coming or going. I'll give you the address.
Okay. All right. So, are you going to try to get everybody together this evening?
Yes, that is the goal.
All right.
Go pick up Girty and drive over to Maryland's.
All right. And then we will just jump right into Marilyn, Manny. Where would you host everyone in your house?
Well, since I assume that they come, and she suggested the barn out back. So she probably would be like, oh yeah, sure. Let me just set up a nice little table before y'all arrive. And it's it's a very it's a storage barn more so, but she does have all her stuff in there. She just like sets up like an old plastic table, some chairs around it, and there's just hay everywhere, so it's very dusty. But there's nice lighting, so she's like, it's perfect.
All right. Yeah, so everybody gathers there. I think probably 10 or 15 minutes after you are all there, the public defender, Mr. Stein, arrives. He's a...
Oh, before he gets there, I want to share my dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it normal that we go to Marilyn, is it normal that we go to your barn?
Anytime they would like come to hang out at her house, she would probably like set up like a space in the barn, especially like on nice, hot, and sunny days. They could kind of just like chill outside, but also not have to be straight up in the sunlight.
Okay.
Probably has like some punch set up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I will like make some tea and just help you kind of set up while I kind of tell you guys a bit about my dream. And I wrote down the details, but I think based off of this character, she's gonna interpret a different way. So
Sure.
I'll say that so as you guys are setting up, I think Girty is just gonna be helping putting things together, waiting for this gentleman to come. And she's gonna just kind of look over at both of you. Now, I don't want both of y'all to get too worried, but I had a really weird
Well, dear, tell us all about it.
Well, there was this shadow of a man, I think it was, and he was well, maybe he was shrouded in shadow. I couldn't really tell, to be honest, that well. But he was standing, I think, in front of some trees, behind some trees, and he was absolutely destroying this Thanksgiving dinner. There was is kind of scenes cranberry sauce all over the place. But what was strange was that the turkey was severely uncooked, like it was white. He definitely did not cook that long enough. Um, and so I'm not really sure what that means. I did go to bed without eating dinner, so that may have been an issue. But I usually don't have those types of dreams. I'm not really sure what the man has to do with it.
Well, it is nearly Thanksgiving. Seems like you were also hungry. Dungeon Master, I have a question.
Yeah.
How much of like ooky spooky stuff has happened to the three of us before? Like, have we used these dreams before in previous mysteries? Or is this kind of...
I think the previous
Yeah.
mysteries have been pretty straightforward. I mean, probably any murder is a little bit spooky, but no, you're not accustomed to like prophetic dreams.
Okay.
Did you undercook your turkey last year or something? Is there a little bit of a trauma response there, Girty?
Okay, first of all, how very dare you even suggest I would undercook my turkey? Second
That's
of all,
true.
I swear this man was someone I've never seen before. I think he was very shadowy, but I didn't recognize the silhouette. So
The
either,
boogeyman.
well, either something from the spirit, the spiritual world is trying to tell me something. Maybe we should look out for this person who's coming to come talk to us today. Or perhaps in the future, we should look for someone who's, man shaped, perhaps.
Well, I
I'm
hate
not
to
sure.
tell you, darling, but about 50% of nearly every population is man-shaped.
All right. Well, man shaped and also doesn't know how to cook a turkey. Actually, now that I've said that out loud.
Barely any man
That's
knows how to
about
cook
all
a
men.
turkey.
Well, that was
So
what I
we'll look
saw.
out for all of the men. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All
normally
right, well.
how I approach life in general.
We're gonna ask them if they can help with baking a turkey. Maybe we'll figure out that way.
Yeah, well, you two were no help.
Think about this
You
time.
served an undercooked turkey and a shadowy man.
There's a
There ain't
timid
much to
knock
go
at the
off.
door.
Oh, why, that must be Randall. I'll
I'll
just
go
let him
get
in.
the door. Oh, you gonna go get it? Alright, I'll prepare him some punch then.
Go let Randall in. Hello,
Right.
dear. I give him a kiss on both cheeks.
He's definitely embarrassed by that. Randall's a tall, handsome young man, broad shoulders, in a suit that doesn't really fit him quite right. Probably not the most expensive one in the store. Dark hair, light eyes. He seems a little bit nervous coming in. He's yeah, thank you all for meeting with me. I just
Now, you see, Girty, Randall here is a vegetarian. You can tell by how skinny his bones are. So we needn't
Yeah.
worry about him cooking any turkey.
Yeah, Mr. Stein, is it?
yeah. Oh, I know I haven't met all of you. I've heard a lot about you, but yeah, please call me Randall.
Okay,
Whoa,
Randall.
Randall, here's some punch.
Yeah, honey, do you want some cake or some pie or do you want some food? Let's get you something to eat.
No, it's not necessary.
Oh, come on, it'll be fine. Find a
I'm
young man
assuming.
like you needs to be strong. Get some food.
Gertie has a spoonful of sweet potato pie. Here it comes.
Wait, I'll turn into grandma's for him. Like, alright, come on, we gotta eat some
Open
food
up.
now.
Yeah, he protests but goes along with it. And is
Now
kind of
tell
like
us-
in a hurry to explain things, but keeps getting overtaken by cups of tea and
Now, girls,
whatever else.
girls, I know we are just all flabbergasted by this wonderfully handsome man here, but would you please, Randall, tell us about your client?
Yeah, yes, of course. Yeah. It's a tough one. I feel like I just don't have what I need to show that she's innocent right now. And everybody's pushing to prosecute, to book her right away, and so it all comes down to this this guy named John Hanmore.
Well,
You
what
may have
is
heard
that?
already. It's
John Hanmore, as in the realtor Hanmore?
Yeah, you may have seen it on the news already. He was found dead in his office. It's
And your
been
client is suspected of killing this man?
yes, yeah, that's it. It's coming at a weird time with Thanksgiving around the corner, and he's one of the main organizers of the Thanksgiving parade. You know, the floating parade down the canal, in the middle of town. So he was found in his office, dead, stabbed. And they arrested my client is Anna Ortega Avant. She's an activist. She's been seen protesting outside of the parade headquarters. She's been in arguments with him before.
Now, what is
they're
her name
accusing
again, dear? Very slowly.
Anna Ortega Avant.
Gertie is Gertie is 5 steps ahead. Gertie is 5 steps behind everyone. Now, this John, is John or Jon?
It's HN. Is she like
She's
taking
writing.
notes?
Yes, she's writing it very
Okay.
slowly with her glasses. HN. Is this Hanmore with an ND or Han with HAN?
It's just the N, HAN and MORE. I don't know how important that is.
And meanwhile, PP over here just bothering the man. Probably like attempting to pee on him.
Really?
That's where she got the name from. She likes to pee on new people.
Okay. He's probably trying to like nudge her away with his shoe a little bit.
She's just marking her
also-
territory, that's all.
Well, I could see why she may have been in arguments with Mr. Hancock, but I wouldn't go as far as to kill him.
I've talked with her. I believe her, but the thing is that she's been seen on video. She was the last person to go into his office before his body was discovered. They have her going in, coming out, and maybe an hour later, his assistant and his nephew go in, and that's when they found the body. She's told me that she had an appointment with him. She showed up on time, and there was nobody there. She went in, didn't see anybody, and left.
Sounds serious. You should call the police.
Well, dear, I
kind
think
of-
that's already been happened.
Oh,
You see, she is in jail.
I see.
Yeah, that's why he came. He needed for us to help defend her because she already is in the cuffs.
I see. And this is Anna.
Yes,
Anna, yeah.
Anna Ortega Avant.
All right.
I mean, she's everybody's really coming down on her. I mean, there isn't really any hard evidence against her, but they're taking the video footage, the fact that she's argued with him, and I feel like they're just gonna run her to trial on that. And what I want from you, I mean, I've heard about the work that you've done, and I know what you all can do. You don't have to solve the murder, but just if you could get me something that would show that it wasn't her.
Now, dear, his nephew and who else found his body?
His assistant, his executive assistant. Yeah, that's he like pulls out a notebook of his own. That's Joan Leister, his assistant, and William Hanmore as his nephew.
Did I offer you any punch yet?
Yeah, I have some here. Thank you. It's delicious.
And Joan what? Again?
Leister.
Leister.
And I'm dropping this stuff in the chat just so y'all can see it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're just enjoying bothering you.
I don't know how much you're just bothering this guy and how much you're trying to write all this stuff down, but it's there for you.
I'm purely just bothering him. I think everyone else is taking notes.
Now, she kind of looks at him. What did he say his name was? What was your name again?
This is Randall.
Right, of course. Randall.
Raymond?
No.
Randall, dear.
Randall.
Ah, yes. Randall, yes. I heard you.
He gets a look in his eye like he's realizing he's made a terrible decision.
Oh, don't worry, dear. We're just messing with you.
Now, I feel like we have a lot of information, but I guess I'm going to ask exactly what you want us to do. Are you expecting us to clear your friend's name or to investigate the murder? Because, we have to be impartial here. We don't know if Miss Ortega did this deed or not. We'll have to provide the evidence to say either way.
I'm confident. He squares his shoulders and puts on what's clearly his practice courtroom voice. I'm confident that if you investigate this crime, if you do what you do best, you will find the evidence that's needed to exonerate her.
Now,
dear, no need to get all huffy puffy with us. We can understand.
Now, Randall, dear, what makes you so confident that this young woman is not the murderer? Is it just her affect, or have you had some sort of inkling that someone else may have done it?
In my line of work, you get a feel for people, for one thing, and it's my job to defend people who are accused of a crime, and I know they're not always innocent, but I know she didn't do it.
Well,
there may be more to that if you want to make a roll or anything like that. If you want to push him, that would probably be a where is it? Meddling. If anybody wants to push him.
Is that a presence? Or that's a move action.
Yeah, it's a move action. So the moves can involve different abilities. That would probably be a presence, depending on kind of what you're doing there.
Well, I would love to meddle.
Okay.
So,
what do you think of this young man, boy? Do you think he's telling the truth? Just talking to her dog.
So
All right. So do you
yes,
want to? So you're going to roll
I would
2d6.
just okay. Do I get any bonuses for my extra in presence or not really?
Yes, you will roll 2d6 and add your. You have 1 in presence, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll
Okay.
add 1.
All right. Here's the first roll, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, a 5 and a 1 plus 1. That's a 7.
Ooh, all
Not
right.
great. Oh,
So you're
it got
gonna.
to the baseline completion.
Yeah, you're gonna get a clue, but there is a complication. Let me look at my clues really quick. Um, he kind of. Well, let's play it out. Actually, like what do you say?
Now, Randall, I know you have a soft heart, but you've seen all kinds of criminals come in and out of that jailhouse. Now, you tell me what you really think about Miss Anna Ortega of Aunt. That's all.
Okay. He squirms a little bit in his seat. He's like, um, it's between us.
Oh, oh man, he's fucking her. I mean, whoa.
This ain't Grey's Anatomy. Hopefully.
Oh. Now, we are in a retired community. Who knows what we get up to these days?
So he's asking, like, is this something that you're not going to share with anyone else?
What says is
Oh.
said in the bond, it stays in the bond.
Yeah. What
When
she
did we
said.
make that rule?
Just now.
So yeah, here's the kind of the complication here is that before he's going to tell you anything, he's asking for your like your confidence
Now,
that you will
Randall,
keep this whatever he tells you a secret.
know I'm not a busybody about town.
Ha!
Everybody trusts me with their secrets. I will tell no one unless it's pertinent to the case.
Well, so honestly, I should have recused myself from this. I know Anna. I've known Anna for a long time. And well, there's this also. He has like his little briefcase with him. He reaches in and pulls out a piece of paper and kind of holds on to it like he's really not sure. This is she gave this to me. This would probably be a evidence against her, but I'm going to trust you all with it. And he hands over this paper, and it is a typed and unsigned document on Mr. Handmore's letterhead announcing the cancellation of the annual Thanksgiving boat parade.
But it's not signed?
What's
Sorry. It's not signed, though?
It's not signed.
Oh, look, you put
Says
it in clues.
she.
Nice.
Yeah, I put it in clues. Can't seem to move it, but I put it in clues. Yeah, he says she found this on his desk and she was confused. She grabbed it. I haven't shown this to anybody.
And you shouldn't. It'd be a riot.
Yes, what a long tradition we've had of Thanksgiving boat parade.
And you have to understand, she wasn't even trying to have it canceled. I mean, some people want to, but she wanted representation in it. She wanted some acknowledgement of the real history of Thanksgiving.
Uncooked
She wanted
turkey.
what?
The uncooked turkey.
Oh.
Oh,
So
Now here, Girty, is an uncooked turkey. Continue.
And that's it. I don't have anything else to tell you.
Oh. Well, girls, why on earth would this man want to cancel the Thanksgiving Day parade? I mean, it's an excellent event for the entire community, and we all know that John has used it as a huge promotional advertisement for his various real estate businesses. So why would he cancel it?
Maybe he's the one who undercooked his turkey and he got embarrassed.
All right, Marilyn, stick with us, honey. So I know who the mayor is, but just so that we're all on the same page, right? Who would need to sign this document for the parade to be canceled?
Oh, that is a good
Who's in
point.
charge of the parade?
Because he's just a donut, isn't he?
Yeah, he's nobody.
Well, he's one of the main funding sources. I don't know that he could cancel it, but it's possible.
John Hanmore was one of the main funding sources.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very, very rich.
Well, was.
Well, yes. We'll have to see who is profiting off that man's decease.
Certainly ain't me.
No,
Well,
it's none of us.
That man has been bugging me these past 5 years, trying to buy my house off me.
now,
Marilyn?
No,
Marilyn.
man, he's a suspect.
Marilyn, that does make you a suspect now.
That literally does make you a suspect. Yeah.
Oh no!
Ooh, does that mean I get to say?
I haven't even tried to stab. That was how he died, right? I was stabbing. I haven't even tried to stab Mr. Hanmore.
Was he stabbed?
But
Yes, he was stabbed.
Oh my goodness, Marilyn, stop talking.
yeah, Esther, I think that does. If you want to use your Sherlock Holmes move, you can declare something about Manny based solely on her appearance.
Now, based solely on her appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we all know, Marilyn doesn't have the imagination to stab someone to death. While looking at her clothes.
Oh no.
Sweet bird.
What's wrong about my clothes? I've had these for 23 years now.
I rest my case.
What case? I don't see no briefcase.
Oh, sweet Marilyn.
Sweet, sweet, sweet Marilyn. Every friend group needs a rose.
Gosh. I didn't even try, dude. I was just stating facts.
All right. Do you feel like we can call this conversation with the public defender over and move on with the investigation?
Yeah.
I think we've gotten all the information we can out of him, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Before he goes, I would like to just wrap up the rest of the pie and go ahead and send that with him.
Okay. Yes, he's very thankful.
Sweet.
Obviously still embarrassed from divulging secrets to you, and very thankful that you're helping, and just says Esther knows his phone number. You can call him anytime.
Yes, we will be in touch if we find out anything to clear dear Miss Anna's name.
Or not.
Or not.
Nice.
Or maybe.
That's a really good close to the scene.
We will see
So
what we will uncover.
it is evening now. The sun is mostly down, kind of like a red streaks on the sky. Do you want to go and investigate right now? Wait until the
Ooh,
morning? And
it's
where do you
well
want to
past
go?
my bedtime.
I do need to take a pee-pee here for a walk. I saw that he was trying to go on Mr. Raymond's. That's his name, right? Raymond. Leg there a couple minutes ago. I should probably take a pee-pee on a nice little walk.
Randall, dear.
Randall.
I'm assuming we'll
Donald?
have to very close, Marilyn. I'm assuming we'll have to do some interviews. Perhaps, take some slow walks past some areas.
Yes,
Scope out some
perhaps
places.
past an office. He
Mhm.
died only recently. The further away from his death we get, the less clues are likely to be where he died. So maybe we should go check that out before bedtime.
Mhm.
After
Yes,
all,
let's
the younger officers will be stuck there, keeping watch on the office. Why, if we bring them a little bit of grub, they might be willing to just let us old biddies poke around.
sounds good. Let's take a walk.
All right. So you're heading to Hanmore's office. It is toward the center of the town, not the most historic area, but it's in a more modern, about 10-story building, one of the biggest buildings in Brindlewood Bay. And yeah, you arrive. It's like an office building, multiple offices, and I think you probably could have gotten from Randall that Hanmore's office is on the 9th floor. You arrive there, and there is an officer at the main door to the building. Just a uniformed police officer. Kind of like watching you as these three old ladies walk up.
Well, hi there. Been a fine evening, hasn't it been, officer?
Yes, very nice, ma'am.
Now, what you doing standing out in the cold here?
Just doing my job, ma'am.
Well, I hope you got yourself a nice scarf or something. Don't want you catching a cold while you're on the job.
I'm plenty warm, ma'am. And it's chilly. There's like cool, crisp ocean breeze coming through.
Can we try to just walk in, or is he like blocking the door?
He's kind of standing to the side of the door. As you walk toward the door, he kind of holds a hand up and he's like, "Is there something I can help you ladies with?"
Can I look around and see if he's the only person close, like in this area?
He is, yes.
Okay.
This is like
Um,
a huge office building too, right?
Yes.
Like there's more offices than just his business.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But it's
I'd
Sunday,
like
it's night,
to.
it's closed up.
Right.
I'd like to take something out of my bag that I've brought, and
Oh, it's not the rolling pin, is it?
not
Yeah.
yet.
Aw.
we could probably take them, but not yet, ladies.
Okay.
But I do want to kind of have something prepared, and I don't know if this is allowed, but I want to offer him some food. So I'd like to maybe see if I can convince him to, trust me enough to eat it. But I do want to like spike it, like with the sort of natural herb that will make him fall asleep.
So you're
Nice.
using your herbalism here.
Yes.
I think that's
Okay.
illegal there. I was gonna try to distract
We
him.
just
so you have to
mixed
watch
up a
it.
couple herbs while we were cooking.
Right.
It was an honest mistake.
Okay, so in Brindlewood Bay, the two main moves that you're going to be doing are day move and night move. Day moves happen in the day or in places where it's just pretty safe, and night moves happen at night or places where it's relatively unsafe. So this is going to be a night move. When you do something risky or face something you fear, name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve. And I will tell you how it's worse than what you fear. So what are you afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
So I'm a pretty good herbalist. However, I always tell people when I give them new herbs and things that are ingestible that I need to do a test first, to make sure I don't give them too much or too little. It all has to do with, body weight and all that jazz. So I don't know if this gentleman eats too much of this, something bad will happen. But I think probably my worst fear would be that he is like asleep way longer than I would want him to be. And that would be
I think we
probably
lost
my
you.
fear.
We lost you for or I lost you for a second there.
Yeah, I missed some of what you said.
Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, it was asking me to switch my mic for some reason. Okay,
Oh,
can you hear
okay.
me now?
Yeah, and it was just like 1 minute ago, like specifically what you're afraid will happen.
Yeah, you were talking about
Okay.
like body weight, and then it cut out.
Okay. Yeah, so I would be afraid that I'm gonna try to give him as much as I think based on looking at him he can ingest without like getting sick or without it working too hard or hurting him. And my biggest fear would be that obviously that I got it wrong and something bad happened to him.
Okay. I'll say it's worse than you fear because not only will we'll just assume that he's going to eat it. Not only will it affect his health, but it will be obvious that it was your fault.
These are going to be my
you'll be-
famous. What are they going to? I'm making my famous brownies.
Okay. And are you going to use your cozy space, your herbs there?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll roll with advantage, which means you'll roll 3d6 and take the two highest. And as far as the ability goes, I would say reason. If you have,
I want to use reason.
Is that,
and
okay,
I put my
that
extra
makes
in
sense
reason,
to me.
so that'd be a +2.
All right, so
Nice.
3d6, take the two highest,
All right.
and +2.
All right. So I'm just gonna go. What did you say your name was, hun?
Officer Malcolm.
Malcolm. And I'm gonna pull out basically a gleaming gold pan that has a little lid on it and open up the lid. And I was gonna waft the most chocolatey, delicious, chocolatey caramel smell you've ever smelled. And they're still warm. Still warm. Like, now I know you shouldn't be taking things while you're on the clock, but I thought this would get you through the night. And I just want to give him the whole pan. Let's see how this works.
Yeah, his eyes immediately go wide.
I'm going to very discreetly pull Marilyn's hands away from the pan. Very discreetly.
Casually just pulls a pan off her Mary Poppins bag.
Oh my gosh. 2 6s and a 2.
Yeah.
All right.
And then +2.
So that's a 14.
You win a
Nice.
lot.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
You do what you intended. So you can describe what it looks like, and then I will tell you some extra benefit or advantage.
Okay. I think we've pulled this type of trick before, except for probably Marilyn continues to forget not to eat the brownies. So I will, as Esther kind of pulls Marilyn back, I'll just kind of give them
your
to...
brownies are amazing.
they are my famous brownies. I'm going to give them to kind of a look And as I pass it to him and watch him eat it, I'm just going to continue to like talk until I can see that he's falling asleep and just make sure that I like, set him down gently and maybe even out of the way if I can. Like, yeah, so these are actually my special brownies. I call them happy brownies. They're just what the secret is, it's just a pinch of salted caramel. That's kind of that middle layer you're getting there. Those are good, right? Still warm. And I'm just going to continue to talk as I watch him to make sure that he falls asleep.
All right. Yeah, he probably like slumps against the glass next to the door and just slowly slides down.
Nice.
I'm gonna say the extra advantage that you get is like as he slumps down to the ground, his hand kind of falls to the side, and there's a ring of keys. These are the building keys.
Okay, I will work on positioning him and giving the keys to whoever is going to grab them out of my hand, and just positioning him to make sure that he can't be seen from the street.
I'll take the keys. Yeah, I'll take the keys. I'll do like a whole roll of keys. And I'm gonna
so you can
see if the door is like locked, or do we have to use the keys to get in?
I think the front door was unlocked with the police officer standing there.
Okay. All right, girls. Now let's head up to the 9th floor, but keep an eye out as we head up, just in case there's anything from here to there that's suspicious.
All right, so you enter this big open lobby. It's tiptoeing like Scooby-Doo characters. It's the building's closed, so it has that thing where like every fourth light is on, so it's like semi-dark in there, lower lit than it ordinarily would be, and you can head to the elevators and up to the 9th floor.
Yep.
And there's like a hallway, and you find the door to Hanmore's office. It has his name in big letters across it. And it probably has police tape across it, taped across the door, but you can unlock, head in, avoid the tape.
Yes, let's do that. Is there like a look for clues move where you just perceive things?
It's always the meddling move is for searching for a clue or gathering information.
Yes. That.
So, like before you go into his office, or
Yes, because I want to see if the door is like if anybody broke into it that we didn't see on camera, or like I don't know, anything weirds up about it.
I'm gonna say that is kind of feel like that's not necessarily well. Yeah. Go ahead and do the meddling roll.
That's 2d6.
Yeah, and for that, I would say probably reason.
Okay. So I got a. Wait a second. What happened? Here we go. Try again. There you go. Oh no, I did that.
Yeah,
I only have a +1, so that's 4.
Okay, so that's a 4. So, I think as you are kind of looking around in this hallway, I'm gonna say you look up and you can see one of the cameras that was referred to earlier that captured the security footage. So So what's happening here is you notice that you are also on camera sneaking into this office.
Well, shit.
And you don't find anything of note in the hallway.
So, anybody who came in this way would have been filmed. So, the killer, if it isn't Anna, they must have come in from another direction. But also, if he wasn't in his office when Anna came in, how did he get into his office?
Well, now, even though you can be filmed on these cameras, perhaps they found where the film was and erased it or changed it somehow.
He must have had a really nice view from his window. Since we are on the 9th floor.
Yeah, why didn't they just push him out the window? Well, let's go inside and find out some things.
Okay. You first enter this like open reception area. It's kind of like glass door into the hallway, and you walk inside. A small reception area. There's a desk where presumably his assistant would sit. Some nice kind of leather chairs, comfortable set around the or along the walls. Potted plants, and then behind the reception desk, a big, heavy, imposing wooden door that would clearly be his office door. So the reception area, the desk is the desk of Joan Gannings, his assistant. I don't remember if I put that in the chat or not. Oh, sorry, Joan Leister, his assistant. And I'm going to ask a question of, let's go with Marilyn. As you approach this desk, what evidence do you see of the thing that Joan Leister cares about most?
I would say, probably a certificate, like a small certificate in a frame of something, maybe just like some award or their college degree.
Well, which of those things is it?
I don't know what else it is. I was probably say just a college degree.
Okay. Cool. Or, I don't know, like business degree or something like that?
Probably.
Okay. So you have this very tidy, perfectly ordered desk with a framed college degree, and then the big door to John's actual office, but beyond that.
Can I look around and see if there is some place where the cameras store their footage?
Yeah, so there's a computer on the desk, the reception desk, that would probably be the most reasonable place. Girty doesn't seem like the one who's really great with computers, but I don't know.
She's gonna sit down, crack her knuckles. All right. And look at the keyboard. Esther, how do I get into this thing?
Well, try turning it on, dear.
How do you, where's the button? And she's just gonna kind of press every key.
I'm gonna turn it on for her.
Okay. So do you wanna make a move here?
Sure. To not break it.
Yeah.
Maybe you
I
want to
feel
break
like-
it. And no.
I feel like this is going to be a night move again. It could be a meddling move. I don't know. I'll go with what you feel on that.
I think I think it depends. If I turn it on and it's like, and I have to like do some tech stuff, I'm gonna say night move. But if I turn it on and
Yeah.
it's like already on, then I'm already gonna go into searching and like getting
Yeah, you're gonna
information.
have to get into it.
Perfect.
And it like might be as easy as like you turn the keyboard over and the password's like on a piece of tape down there, and it might be like completely impossible.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try.
Now, first try password.
All right. Capital P? PASS. So I'm gonna just try password for the password.
I want to give you disadvantage on this.
I
didn't even need to. All right.
No.
So
Oh
here's
gosh.
something that I completely forgot about the game that I just remembered. With any roll you make, you can choose to put on a crown and automatically bump that your result up one level. So a failure would become the partial success. Partial would become a full success. And what you have to do for that is check it on your character sheet, any one of those, and you describe a flashback for your character. So that's always an option if you don't want to completely fail on that. But I should actually tell you what's going to happen for your failure before we do that. I think, I don't know if this is actually reasonable at all. I think you're somehow going to set off an alarm messing around with this computer. You're going to alert some authorities to the fact that you're here.
It does seem like an advanced building, so there is a possibility that they do have like a lock system. Either that or someone saw them on the security camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can choose to make that a 7 to 9 instead if you want to do a crown.
Do we want to do that?
I mean, this is a one shot, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You've got plenty of space to use those things.
Let's just fire them off.
All right. I will click a crown.
And as far as I understand this game, you can use either the Crown of the Queen, which is you're going to narrate something that has to do with you, your character as a woman in the world, or the Crown of the Void, which is going to be about kind of the Lovecrafty horror aspect.
Okay. I will do a Crown of the Queen, and I will do a scene where I present in the present day showing a budgeting romance. Right. It's not going to be what you expect, but yep.
Anne and Mr. I already forgot his name, but that man.
All right, let's hear your scene.
Girty is going to tip tap password, and it's gonna pop up that it's not working. And she's gonna be like, "God dang it!" She's gonna look over at Esther. You know, I was watching Days of Our Beginnings, you know, on that one channel with my future husband, Dave Davison, and you know, he is so gorgeous. Have I told you about Dave Davison? I actually wrote him a letter, and I'm pretty sure he read it and wrote me something back. I just haven't gotten it in the mail yet, but we are probably getting pretty serious. Anyway, I was watching that show, and he was actually doing some sort of hacker thing where he had to go into like a hospital and do some hacking things. And he said that a lot of times people keep their passwords on like objects in the office. He like flips something over. Maybe we should try to find it on the desk.
Now, that gives me a great idea. And I pick up the framed picture, the framed, like, document, her degree, and flip it over and see if there's anything stuck to the back.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you find the password that way. And it's like it's like doesn't have any words in it. It's like capital letters and like a ampersand and like numbers, and you would never ever would have gotten it.
Hold on, let me take out my reading glasses.
So you open up the computer. I'm going to go ahead and just give you I know you weren't doing meddling on this, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a clue. Actually, I'm going to give you a void clue.
Ooh.
When you open the computer, a video is open on the screen, and it's showing a pale, rotting carcass feebly flopping across the ground and leaving a trail of stuffing behind.
Oh my goodness!
It shows this like little clip of a video, kind of like glitchy, and then the window just closes automatically.
I can't believe what we just saw. He actually videotaped him making that undercooked turkey.
That turkey was less than undercooked. It was like slightly alive.
That's what I was telling you. Severely undercooked. You can't eat that.
No.
All right. So the void clue doesn't count as one of the clues that you've acquired. You can't use it to solve the crime. It's just meant to be disturbing. So we'll say you achieved what you were going for. You open up the computer. You can find the security cameras, and it confirms what Mr. Stein told you. You can kind of like spend a little bit of time looking through the footage, and you see Mr. Hanmore arrive at a certain time in the afternoon, go into the office. A few hours pass. It doesn't appear as though his assistant, Ms. Leister, was here. I mean, it's a Sunday. So he went into his office. The door was closed. Nothing happens at all for a couple hours. Then you see a young woman, kind of like short and wiry, wearing like a like army surplus jacket, kind of come slowly into the room, looking around, kind of seems like she's looking for anyone at the desk. Eventually like goes, knocks on the door, opens the door, walks in, closes the door. Maybe like 15 minutes pass, and then she comes out again looking annoyed and leaves.
Seems odd that you would wait for 15 minutes, but maybe not.
No. I mean, she also doesn't really look like she's committed a murder. Not that I would know what you would look like after you commit a murder, but...
No, but she clearly knows Krav Maga. Look how wide her frame is.
All right, I'm not sure that immediately equates to knowing a special martial arts skill, but okay.
No, she has the exact same build of a young man that I knew way back in the day when I was on the cruise liner. Same wire frame.
Is that your Sherlock Holmes move?
Oh yeah, because she's a suspect. It's the first time we're seeing her.
I thought you were doing that intentionally. Yeah, so that is absolutely true. She knows Krav Maga.
How do you know these things?
Oh, well done, dear. I've seen everything. When you've seen so many people, you can just tell.
Well, can you tell that she murdered Mr. Hanmore?
Well, it doesn't look like she's particularly wound up. Like, she looks annoyed, but stabbing someone to death takes a lot of energy out of a person. She would have blood on her. She would be out of
How would
breath.
you know how that feels?
Well, no reason at all, dear.
Hmm.
I've watched a
Now you're a
lot of
suspect,
murder
too.
mysteries.
We're all suspects.
Yay! We did it! Does that mean we win?
We all did it.
It's quite a twist. You have to.
Oh, sorry. So,
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
can we go into his actual office and look for clues now?
Yep.
Is it locked or is it just...
Yeah. It's locked, but you have the keys. So you open it up. And yeah, you walk into a large, kind of ostentatious office. There's like wood floors, big windows looking out over the town. There's just like constant mix of old traditional stuff, like big mahogany bookcases, like a plaster bust of who knows who, and like new modern things, like an abstract painting on the wall and stuff like that. It's clear that he's making a strong attempt to appear or to display his wealth and status. A question for, I think this is a good question for Esther, actually. How can you tell from the decor that Hanmore cared more about appearances than substance?
Oh, well, the bourbon that he has out, it may be expensive, but it is trash to drink. So he doesn't actually know the things. He just thinks, "Oh, this is expensive. I will show my status by the price, not the quality."
Good. And this room is there are no lights on. There's like a light switch right next to the door, but you have natural light coming in through the windows. It's nighttime now, but it's cloudy. There's reflected light from the town, so it's very low lit when you walk in. I guess another thing you got from the computer is that there were no cameras in his office, just in the lobby.
Is there a blood stain on the floor?
If you walk around his desk, you can see that there's blood on his very comfortable leather chair and blood on the floor around it.
Okay.
So what are we looking for? Are we looking for more documents to show who's in charge of signing the one that's unsigned, or are we looking for general clues?
I was kind of hoping that we might find a secret passageway or something, because the girl said that he wasn't in this office. And you can clearly see on the tape that he goes in and closes the door, and a little bit later she comes in and can't find him. So he must have gone somewhere.
I wonder, is there a fire escape around here?
No. It's like a very, very modern building. It's probably built in the past 10 years. There's no fire escape.
Well, that ain't safe.
No, they make stairways now where they're fireproof. Looking for a secret passage, to me, it feels more like a night move than a meddling move, just because it's so specific.
Okay.
Generally searching around for clues might be meddling. Does Esther want to search for a secret passage?
Yes.
So
is that night
I'm going to
moves
call it a
are
night. So you're doing something risky or facing something risky. Name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve, and I'll just tell you how it's worse than you fear.
Well, there's not a lot of consequence to failing, except that there's really not a lot of consequence to failing. Like, we just don't have any more
What's the
knowledge.
what's the worst thing that you think could happen if you do find a secret door?
Oh, well, there could be a bunch of weird undead turkeys in there, because now I've seen an undead turkey, and that's very disturbing.
It's worse than you fear because you will find something that can seriously hurt you.
Oh no.
I mean,
So you can choose to back down and not do the roll, or you
botulism
can
alone.
go ahead and roll. Yeah.
Well,
Salmonella.
now I'm curious, so I'm gonna do the roll.
And I mean, I would say reason again. I don't know if you have a.
I just have a 1 in reason.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have better than that in anything, do you?
Rolling.
If there is an object that you could use. Oh, you got it. Okay, you're good.
I got it. Plus
That's
1,
an
so
11.
that's an 11.
All right. On 10 plus, you do what you intend and hold steady. Describe what it looks like when you find a secret door.
All right. Well, the trash bourbon, behind the trash bourbon was a couple of books that just make no sense if you're designing your office to look nice. So I start pulling on the books, and then one book makes a little click noise, and the the floor underneath of this man's desk, like that little where you put your feet, it like sinks down into the ground, and there's a whole step. There's a staircase going down into the darkness. I don't know what's down there.
All right. But there
Does
is
it move?
a secret
Does
passage.
it move the desk, or is the desk still in the same spot?
No, it's like that pretend staircase move where you go behind a big thing and you like go down, but there's actual steps. So it goes down underneath the desk. The desk didn't move.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go ahead and throw another clue at you just so you'll get some clues. Secret passage was literally one of the clues. I'm going to also say you find along the stairs that are right on the first stair that goes down a single bloody footprint.
Whoa. Now,
Well,
this is a clue.
They didn't wipe their shoe.
What?
that's exactly right, Marilyn.
Yeah. Just take a sip from my flask. Let's go.
Well, can't
Well,
we measure their shoe?
You can do that.
Well, oh
Do you
yeah,
have something to measure?
Yeah, measure the shoe, and then we can find the person's shoe size. I don't know what roll that would be if I need to roll.
No, I think if you have something to measure it with, like a little tape measure or something.
She knows how long the collar is, so she's gonna.
I'm not.
She's been holding Pee-Pee the whole entire time, just in her arms. She's like, all right.
Yeah.
She'll just take off Pee-Pee's collar and measure the shoe with it.
We should also note that PP is your move. You have the Tin move, meaning you have this dog that will do whatever you ask it to do. I'll just say, yeah, you can measure the shoe. What do you get from that?
I don't know the shoe size. Do I just?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. What do you see? Like, what's the shoe size? Does it look like a man's
Hold
shoe?
on,
Does it
I
look
need
like a
to.
boot?
Gosh. I'll say it would probably be a man's shoe, and like with those fancy dress shoes. Like that's like the shape of it.
All right. And that's, yeah, so that's a little bit more detail on that one clue. Anything else while we're in the office? Marilyn hasn't made any rolls, so, and that one just didn't seem like one. So is there something you want to investigate or do?
Well, I was gonna have her see if there's anything like out of the ordinary around the place, but they found a secret passage, so I guess.
I mean, you could have. Why don't you go ahead and do the meddling move, and we can say that was happening like while Esther was looking around for the secret passage.
All right, and that's just 2d6s.
2d6, unless you're going to use one of your cozy place objects, if that would make sense for you. And you can also another thing that you can always do is refer to. I need to find that. If you refer to one of the Gold Crown Mysteries move, once per mystery, you can say, "This reminds me of something that happened to Amanda Delacour," and describe how what's going on is similar to something that happened in one of the Gold Crown Mysteries that you read. You'll automatically take 12 plus the roll.
I want to
should do that at some point. Okay, it has to be done before you roll, but we should do it at some point. But I don't know if you want to spend it right now.
Yeah, I think I'll just roll because this ain't very dangerous. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
You rolled twice, but yeah, you did great on
I
that first
don't
one.
know why it did that.
So that would be a reason roll, probably. You have a 1 in that. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a 12. On a 12 plus, you also find a void clue. So you're gonna get a clue from this. Let me look at what we've got. I'm gonna say you pull out one of the drawers of the desk, like this bottom kind of large drawer, and you find
A turkey?
no turkey. Oh, should you find the turkey? No, not the turkey yet. You find a folded set of what look like black ceremonial robes.
Not the nuns again.
No nuns. And I gotta give you a void clue also. Let's say like behind his desk there's a set of another, like, not really a desk but like a set of drawers, and you've opened that and found the set of robes, and as you're looking out the window down at the street below, you see a group of deformed figures wearing enormous papier-mâché pilgrim heads parading across the street in the distance. They're kind of like moving, like their joints don't work properly, and these big bobbling pilgrim heads.
Teens these days with their weird dances.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why he has these robes here. They look pretty comfy, but don't seem like a place to be wearing them.
No, it sure does not.
And
Well-
I'm going to go ahead and give you one other thing just from his desk. This isn't actually a clue on my list of clues, but you see, did I not? Yeah, I didn't write that on my list of clues. Scrawled on his paper calendar that's right on the top of his desk on this day, this Sunday, it says warehouse 2:30. Like it's just scribbled quickly in pen.
Seems like he had a meeting today.
And that falls in that time period where he was supposedly in his office.
So, seems like this passageway goes to the warehouse. Wherever that is, or whatever that is.
All right.
Should we take a look?
You first, Esther.
Alrighty then. I take out my flask and take another big swig, and I grab the shitty bottle of bourbon and go down the stairs.
All right. Everybody following along behind?
Mm-hmm.
Just for fun, let's make this a night move again. So, heading down these dark, mysterious stairs, Esther's leading the way. What are you afraid will happen as you're walking through these stairs? If you
Well, now we know the murderer escaped this way, so we could all get killed.
That's okay. That's going hard on what your worst fear is. And I'm going to tell you how it's worse than that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you told me how it's worse.
There's a chance he'd fall down and break your hip.
We could all be turned into turkeys.
How is it worse? You
don't die, you're just in pain.
could you might, this murderer who would kill you might take even more offense to you being there and go after those you love as well.
Oh no.
So again, you can decide not to go through with it, or you can roll.
Well, I guess I'll roll.
And you can do the Amanda Delacour move and get an automatic 12, or you can always do the queen thing as well, the crown thing.
The queen thing you can do after, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna roll. I don't think we're quite to the Amanda Delacour yet.
That's probably composure, since you're kind of facing a fear here.
Composure. 7 plus 1, which is an 8, which is a success, sorta.
But when you have a 7 to 9, I'm supposed to be mean, just so you know.
Yeah. Do we want him to be mean, or should I put a crown on?
No, I can tell you before, so I'm supposed to tell you. Yeah, you're gonna run into somebody in the stairway, and they're gonna stab you.
Well, I don't want that. I'm an old lady. If you stab me, I'll definitely just die. You know what? So, does the crown of the void, like, you have to go in order, right?
Yeah.
Focus on you, well, then I'm gonna do, because none of these other flashbacks really have anything to do with creeping down a scary hallway.
It doesn't necessarily have to.
Oh, you know what would be great? Never mind. I'm gonna put on the crown of a queen, and I'm gonna do a flashback to a present day scene showing a private side that very few get to see. Well, very few know this, but I do take lessons with Anna of Krav Maga. So I do know Krav Maga, and that's why I know she does Krav Maga. It had nothing to do with her wiry build. I just knew that and wanted to pair smart. But
All right.
I do take lessons with dear Miss Anna.
Okay. So that'll bump that roll to a 10 plus. So you do what you intended. You hold steady. You can describe what it looks like.
Well, do we still meet the person in the stairway? Because that was kind of what I was
That's-
hoping.
Yeah, that's up to you.
Well, excellent. Well, we head down the stairs, and of course, my eyes are wide open looking for any twitch in the darkness. And when suddenly, to our right, a hand appears, I take that hand and I flip him right over onto his back.
All right.
Now, who are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah, so this figure clad all in black jumps to their feet and takes off running.
Oh, no, don't do that. We can't run. Pee-pee, go get him.
And you find that this stairway goes down quite a distance, and not the full 10 floors, maybe like 5 floors, and opens up into this kind of concrete hallway that ends in the parking garage that's attached to the building.
Wait, was there a person running away?
Yes, there's a person running away.
Can I use my Tintin move?
Yeah. Yeah, I would love that.
Yes, go, dog, go.
So you're
All right.
telling the dog to chase down
And go
this
by them.
person?
Yeah, I chased them down basically. Sick
Let me
'em.
read what this says. The pup can understand what you say with near perfect comprehension. It does not yet have the power to talk.
Yeah. Besides, to me, I believe it said. I don't think it could talk out loud quite yet.
Yeah, so what do you want to do here? This seems like you're going to need to do a roll, and I'm not sure how effective this little Papillon is going to be in actually stopping this person.
Basically, it's for PP to basically chase down the man while barking to either draw attention to the person or to help lead us to him if we do lose sight of him or of the person.
All right, I'm gonna say do a night move, with disadvantage.
Okay, what does that entail?
You roll 3 and take the 2 lowest.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure also what ability you're going to use there. Presence to tell the dog what to do. Composure, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But what are you afraid will happen if you fail?
I'm afraid that the man may end up hurting PP.
Okay.
Like turning around and just kicking the dog. It's just like, no.
Yeah. I need to look up our lines and veils and see what we've said about animals. Oh, no. Okay.
And one high one.
I am not okay with hurting animals in the game. I think
Except
the
for
thing
turkeys,
that's worse,
apparently.
Yeah. No turkey has been harmed so far. You just saw a creepy video. The thing that's worse, I will say, is that PP will get lost.
Oh, poor puppy.
No.
And you can choose to just not do it.
It's an 8. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
I got an 8. What would that entail? Would that just mean people did get lost?
8. Yeah. Well, you have to succeed, but PP gets lost. There's a complication or cost. It doesn't. Okay. It doesn't actually have to be the cost that that I said. So maybe if you succeed here, it makes more sense that you manage to follow this person, but you're gonna take a condition. So a condition is something that can give you disadvantage in different situations. I'm gonna say write down in your conditions exhausted. So you've been able to follow this person. Yeah, I don't think it's reasonable that PP would stop them. But you follow this person kind of on this winding route through the city, and it's just like Marilyn is taking the lead on this and is just so tired at the end. Like your legs are aching. It's like the longest jazzercise class you've ever been in. And you follow this person to a warehouse, and they slip through the warehouse door.
So wait, did we run all the way after them towards this warehouse?
Yeah, it
Wow.
wasn't. It was like a few blocks away. And I think like you, and actually, I'll say PP was the one who was following them. So you've been kind of like following the little barks of the dog through these darkened city streets, and eventually find PP standing outside of this warehouse door, barking and yipping.
So that person was very nimble.
Yeah, didn't entirely outrun 3 old ladies, but but pretty good. You find yourselves actually
dogs.
in a narrow alleyway behind the warehouse. So this is a narrow cobblestone alley running between wood and concrete walls. There's piles of trash and boxes. You can see like a couple of just kind of figures in the dark leaning against walls. Possibly some unhomed folks. The glow of an ember at the end of a cigarette. And you can hear like foghorns from out at sea, and you can smell the canal nearby. And I paint the scene question. I haven't asked Girty a question yet. What little sign of joy is left behind here in the alleyway? And that's a question for Girty.
What sign of joy?
Joy, yeah. A little sign of happiness or something happy that happened in the past.
Joy. In this alleyway?
Yeah.
Maybe on one of the side of the buildings is a little carving of like a heart. You know how the kids do. You put the
Yeah.
heart and then put J plus T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say that.
All right. And yeah, PP is standing and barking at this like metal door in the wall, and kind of turns and runs back over to Marilyn and then back to the door and barks some more.
Good job, Pee-Pee. So, man, a strange figure went there.
Can I text the address to Randall?
Mm-hmm.
I text the address of the warehouse and say, suspicious big suspect in this warehouse. Secret passage in whatever his name's office. Tracking suspect. Send backup.
Okay. Yeah, are you gonna wait for a reply?
No.
Marilyn's gonna go ahead and open the door. It's like, alright, Pee-Pee. Lead the way.
Okay.
I just wanted to show up at the right moment. Later.
All right, we'll leave that out there in space then. Yeah, so you open the door and walk into this enormous warehouse space, and you can tell right away that this is the warehouse where the parade floats are prepared and stored. There are, kind of like in the office building, a few sort of like emergency lights on way up above you at the ceiling, these kind of just bare bulbs lighting up just enormous parade floats of turkeys, pilgrims, boats. Some of them are still mostly like wire frames, and some of them are finished and covered in brightly colored paper. You can smell grease, fish, cigarettes, and just throughout this big, huge open space, there are just parade float after parade float. What do you do?
Well, they sure do got lots in here. And she's going to kind of just like follow Pee-Pee around.
Well, this is a mighty big warehouse. Is it like lit up at all?
It's very, very dimly lit. Like I said, there are a few lights like way up at the ceiling that are on, and it kind of just casts these enormous shadows from a huge turkey looming over your heads, or
Well, that's not
group of-
terrifying at all.
yeah,
And
it's quiet.
Girty, didn't you say there was a giant turkey in your dream? Girty?
Was it giant?
It was giant, yeah.
Okay. Yes, I did say that.
Well, maybe we should check out this float, 'cause the dark man figure has appeared. So I don't know if your dreams are prophecies, but nothing would surprise me in this world. I'm gonna go check out the turkey float.
All right. And I want to point out you have 4 clues now, so you can at any time try to solve the mystery.
Don't we need 6?
No, you need half the number of the difficulty of the mystery. But with 4, when you roll, you would have a -2.
Oh,
So
okay.
just wanted to tell you, you can if you want to. You have to account for all of the clues, have a conversation, and say what happened, and then roll.
Well, I'd like to meddle some more around the turkey float.
Okay.
So that's just a meddling roll? The
Yeah.
2d6? Is it
Yep. Rob?
the reason
Probably
then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember,
Roll.
if you can use... Okay, you're already rolling. Never mind.
Well,
I was going to say, if you can use one of your cozy objects, you can take a advantage on it.
Unfortunately, I don't think any of them will be useful in this situation. So I shall
Yep.
roll. Roll. Do the thing. There it goes. Oh, 6. Plus 1 is a 7.
All right. All right. There's a complication. It's always a complication. Let's see. Let me see what kind of clue you find, actually. You find... So this is a floating parade. So this giant turkey is built on top of like a flat bottom boat. That's on a boat trailer. And you find a like a metal case underneath or kind of like tucked behind the tire, a locked metal case. So you've found a clue, but it's inside this case, so you don't know what it is yet. It's like just like a little lockbox, maybe a little bit bigger than a shoebox.
Well, Marilyn, with your pottery skills, do you think maybe any of your tools would be lock-picking worthy?
I don't know about lockpicking worthy, but I could attempt to. And it's like she probably has like a bobby pin in her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Takes out bobby pin. Maybe she probably still has the collar, just like not on PP anymore since she took it out to measure the shoe earlier. She'll attempt to lock pick it.
All right. I'm gonna go night move with that again. We're apparently not doing anything in the daytime. So, what are you
No.
afraid will happen if you fail to open this box, or just in the situation in general?
That it would alert someone.
It would what?
Alert someone.
Oh, okay.
Like alert the bad guy that's definitely in here because we followed him here.
You see?
I will say it's worse because he or they, we don't know if it's a man yet, will get the drop on you as you're focusing on this.
And what do I? Is it just?
And I could see vitality here as it's kind of a physical thing, but I think reason would make sense too.
I'll do reason since I have a.
It rolled twice again.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why it does that.
So go with that first one, which is a 5. That'll be a 6, which would be a failure. So with the failure, this person is going to come out of the shadows and do you harm. I'm gonna go ahead and just describe what happens, and then I'm gonna do a move of my own. So as you've like stepped off to the side of the other two a little bit and like balanced this box on like the wheel well of the trailer and are working away at it, this shadowy figure steps up behind you and just stabs you in the side.
That's so rude.
Yeah. But I am going to cut to commercial. Which I need to find on this sheet somewhere.
Can't I still do the crown of the queen?
You can't because I'm cutting to commercial.
How dare.
Which is going to give you a full success, but I have to find it. So we're going to cut away to a commercial because this is our murder mystery television show. And you will narrate what happens in this commercial. Here we go. Cut to commercial. This is a very special keeper reaction, one that pays homage to the television shows that inspired the game. If a Maven undertakes a perilous or dramatic action and misses the dice roll, I can say, let's cut to commercial. So you are going to narrate a short commercial if you want to, and we will continue as though that had been a success. So here are some prompts for the commercial. Happy Jack's Lumberjack Lumber Liquidation Furniture Sale. Calamity Raccoon's Good Time Pizza Farm. Mike the Gorilla Murphy, Attorney at Law. This is on page 43 of the book if you want to look at them. Possum Be Gone. Drink Plus. It's a soft drink plus so much more. Herb the Herb Novelty Plant. The Holy Spirit, an alcoholic beverage for Christmas. Sugarama breakfast cereal featuring Shuggy the Sugarcane. Any of these sounding good to you?
I that's a lot. I need to find this. I can.
Okay.
What page is that on again?
43.
Already. Those sound fun. I just
If
get
anybody
all.
else has like suggestions there that you really want to hear a commercial for. National Honeydew Council.
All right, let's see. Man, like half of these are tongue twisters. All right. Possum be gone. If you got possums in your attic, well, let's get them gone. Spray this little contraption here around the entrance of any ways into your attic, and they'll be gone.
Nice. Do we see like a cartoon possum or anything like that?
Yeah, cartoon raccoon, just like empty entrance, like a vampire trying to enter a house.
Love that it's not a possum. Okay, so yeah, you pop open this
It
box.
doesn't work very well.
It's a raccoon.
What was
It works the
that?
same way.
Yeah. And you find inside a small, maybe about the size of a grapefruit, sculpture of a turkey made out of alabaster, this bright white stone. It looks very old, just locked in this box, and the feet are dotted with this kind of rust-colored little specks all across it.
Well, this is a mighty fine piece of work.
So you have discovered the
Hey,
alabaster turkey.
a turkey from your
Seems-
dream?
Seems like a murder weapon if that rust material is blood. They didn't say they found the murder weapon at all.
They didn't.
Well, what now?
I would suggest maybe like another meddling roll just to see if you find anything, another clue, and then maybe try to solve it. One more clue will bring you to a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it'll be just a straight roll. No plus, no minus.
Now, come on,
So-
Girty. I know you could find one more clue.
You want me to roll?
Yeah. Last
Hmm.
time you rolled, you got 2 6s. I think I failed like the last 3.
I can try. Okay. Oh my
Who's
All of the lucky
sixes?
rolls.
Wow. Another
Girty's
12.
lucky charm.
Yeah, that was the right choice. All right, on a 12. So you find your clue. You also find a void clue or learn something about the dark conspiracy. Let me see. Where are you looking? For one thing, what are you doing?
Yeah, where was I supposed to be looking?
Everybody was kind of hanging out around this turkey float, but you could be anywhere really.
Look inside the turkey.
Well, I mean, it's a turkey float. Is it one of those where it's like a car? Or is it one of those where it's like huge? Is it like small or big?
It's very big, but it's a floating parade, so it's built on top of a boat. So where there would be a car is a boat. And it has that kind of like where it just becomes like a rectangle basically of this like bits of colored paper hanging all over it.
Okay.
Paper-colored
Then-
paper.
Sorry,
Then,
that was actually paper, colored paper.
then yes, I'm gonna investigate the float, particularly
Okay.
what are they called? Like either the paper mache or like the pieces of it. I'm assuming there's like a giant turkey and maybe some pilgrims standing around. Like the pieces of it.
Okay. The thing that I want to give you is weird. You are kind of climbing around this float, and hold on, excuse me, just sorry, I was just choking and dying.
Oh no.
No, I'm good. I'm alive.
We'll never solve that mystery. We can't get
Never know.
The complication is that the game master has died. You kind of like move around the other side of this float, and you're like looking around, you're not really seeing anything, but you hear this kind of hushed conversation. I realize that one of the things that kind of throws us off with you coming up with a murderer is that we did all of this at night and you haven't actually met anybody. But you overhear this argument going on. A kind of gruff male voice and a kind of scratchy female voice. And the man says, "You shouldn't have come back here, Joan. What are you doing here? This is the worst thing you could possibly do." And the other voice, who you can assume to be Joan Leister, the administrative assistant, says, "They've been poking around too much. I have to take care of it right away. I need you to do it for me. One more, and that's all you need to do." And he's like, "No, I won't do it again. That was too much as it was." And then their voices kind of trail off. So you have overheard a heated conversation between two suspects.
Okay.
Heated argument, I should say, between two suspects.
Do I recognize the other voice, the male voice?
I don't feel like it's someone that you would know, but maybe we can make a roll for that. Well, you rolled a 12 plus, 12 on that. No, I don't think that I don't think there's any way for me to spin that where you would.
Okay. Okay.
But you are also going to get a void clue. So you also, as you're standing kind of like cocked your ear next to this big turkey float, you hear rip, 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 and there is a slow but steady drip of blood coming from the beak of this giant turkey.
Is it real?
It's hard to say.
I'm gonna put my hand up to it, see if it drips on my hand.
Yeah, it drips on your hand. You look a little bit closer and you see that maybe it's actually paint.
All right. I will go back to the girls and let them know what I've heard, as well as show them my hand. Now,
How'd you get sauce back here?
I heard a bit of an argument / conversation between the administrative assistant of Mr. Hanmore and some other gentleman. I couldn't quite gather who he was. but it sounds like we might have two suspects, a murderer and his accomplice, or her accomplice.
Well, are they just behind the turkey?
Did I see them or did I
Um,
just hear it?
You just heard them. I think you could kind of
Okay.
like it's like a weird acoustic effect of this big building that you can kind of pick out where they were. They were farther away than you should have been able to hear them that clearly. But you know kind of where they are across the building.
Damn, I was
Okay.
gonna have us push the giant turkey on top of them. Seems poetic.
Esther. Esther, that would kill them. How many times have we told you that things like that kill people?
But it's
Well,
made out of
murderers,
paper.
though. Also, yes, paper. And also, murderers, though. So, it's fine, right?
Also, and I hold up my hand. Is it paint or blood?
Well, let's
Taste it.
take a look. Oh, or taste it. Gross.
It's paint. I'll just tell you whatever you do to figure it out. It's
You
paint.
just don't want me to taste.
All
Gosh,
right.
no one wants me to just taste to see if it's blood or not.
You know, this
It's
seems like there's an odor coming off of it. It seems like paint to me.
It's cadmium red. It's carcinogenic. I don't want you to take that in.
Oh, no.
All right, good. That's also what I thought it was. So that's just making sure we all were on the same page.
Well, if we could get the drop on them, I could tie them up with my scarf.
So kind of
But-
before you defeat them, you'll have to solve the mystery. You could go confront them if you want to try to do a social thing to try to get another clue out of them or get some information out of them or figure out actually who they are. You could keep
I think it's been a long night, but we have a lot of information that also doesn't add up. So even though we have these two people who clearly have done something bad, I don't know if it's 100% to do with Mr. Hanmore. And then also we found some really interesting stuff at Mr. Hanmore's, like
yes, he seems to not have been a straight arrow.
right. So maybe we need a little bit more information about what he was into.
So should we confront these two then?
Should I sick pee-pee on them again?
No,
Oh, yes.
Yes
Violent.
and no. No
Violent
violence.
dog.
I propose we follow them. I think they're about to do something. That's what the argument was about. She was asking him to
Oh.
do something and he was saying no, but it didn't sound like he was going to get his way.
Well, yes, then let's follow them.
all right. Do you want to try to sneak around to where you can see them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This seems like a night move again. Though I would make a strong recommendation to go ahead and do the Gold Crown Mysteries move just because it's fun and you can only do it once in a game and we're kind of heading toward the end.
I haven't done the gold crown move yet.
Well, only one
think
person
there's
in a
only
game
one.
session can do it. It can only happen
Right.
once.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to do that, I'll read it for you. Once per mystery, when any Maven says, "This reminds me of something that happened to Amanda Delacour," work with the other players to describe how something that is happening in the situation reminds the Mavens of an event from one of the Gold Crown mystery books. You must provide the name of the mystery in question, the problem or situation Amanda found herself in, and how Amanda overcame the problem. And then you'll automatically take a 12 plus for what I would say is a night roll to sneak up on them.
Okay. Do we each want to just add to each of the 3 things?
Oh, we could do it that way.
Okay. I'll say I'm leading the charge.
So is Girty the one who's
Sneaking.
saying, hey, this reminds me of whatever?
Yeah, I think so. I think as we kind of creep around the corner, we're just gonna like whisper to each other a little too loud.
Uh-huh.
Hey, y'all remember that one serial where Amanda Delacourt, what is it? Let's see what it's gonna be called. Amanda and the Pink Fence is what it's called. Good luck with that.
Oh, that was when she was following that arms dealer around a pink warehouse. And she used the boxes to hide and shimmy into the shadow. He never suspected that she found right where his lair was.
All right.
I am confused.
You're supposed to finish it up. How did Amanda eventually overcome the problem or resolve the situation?
Alright, and she ended up finding one of their tools and managed to get them locked up in their lair so she could get the right authorities there to catch them.
Ah, that Amanda, she knows how to do business.
That was a good book.
All right. So you take a 12 plus on the night move. So Girty, you can describe what it looks like when you succeed on this skulking action.
Perfect. I think that the perfect thing we would want to see is we'd want to come up to them silently, even though we are whispering way too loud, but they still don't hear us. And they are just finishing up their conversation or their argument, and it's very clear that the man has lost. And so he kind of has his head down, and he has clearly agreed to do whatever Joan was wanting him to do. And I want them to begin to head off into the direction to do whatever they need to do for the night.
Right. Yeah, so you see let me pull up the descriptions of these people. Joan Leister, the administrative assistant, tall and wiry with a bird-like face. She is dressed all in black. You realize that might have actually been the figure that you ran into on the stairs. And the person that she's talking to is this tall, stocky man with a long red beard. Looks, I mean, if you had to imagine like a dock worker or a warehouse worker or something like that, he's the person that you would imagine. He's like, kind of like sighs, like, oh, fine, we'll do what you say. I don't think those ladies are around here anymore. I don't hear the dog barking. So what should we try to find them at their houses or what? And Joan says, do whatever you need to do. Just get rid of them. We can't have them messing things up for us. I can't believe that John would risk everything that we've worked for just more money. A building contract that would cause him to shut down our parade, ruin our secret rites for the entire year. You know I couldn't let it happen. Let's go find where they live. And they start walking toward like the more front door of the building. So I'm going to give you another another clue, which is a potentially lucrative building contract. I would suggest at this point, so we can kind of wrap close to on time, that you might want to go ahead and do your solve the mystery, your
Yeah.
theorize move. You've got a bunch of clues.
I think at this point, if we're still hiding, I think we'll look at each other and be like, "Oh, they're killing us." Ah,
Yes, I
that's
believe
not
that
good.
was the desired outcome. So how does the theorize move like work? Do we just like say who did what?
Yeah, here, let me read it. When the Mavens have an open, freewheeling discussion about the solution to a mystery, once they have you've gathered enough clues, and reach a consensus, you'll roll plus the number of clues incorporated into the theory. So you have to account for the ones that you account for in your theory, minus the mystery's complexity. So you just talk it out amongst yourselves and come to a conclusion about what happened. And you'll have to account for a number of those clues that you've assembled so far. Okay. I'll throw this other thing at you for free. The big man that Joan was talking to also pulls a hood over his head, and you recognize it as being very similar to what was in Hanmore's office, his ceremonial robes.
Okay.
Well, I do think that red-headed man is our murderer.
Well, yes. And Joan, his accomplice.
Indeed. And I believe that it seems like John was the one who was going to cancel the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Just for some more money and a new building. That man was always trying to get more buildings up.
And it seems like they worship turkeys.
Well,
and
I don't
parade
know about that.
Was part of their plan to rise a giant turkey to take over our town.
Okay. That sounds...
maybe they're just part of a turkey club with their ceremonial robes there.
And they killed him with this alabaster turkey.
Didn't they say he was stabbed?
Yeah, with the talons of the turkey.
I think they said a knife.
They didn't say it was a knife, and they never found the murder weapon, and the turkey had blood on its claws.
Well, that's weird.
Yes.
And they plan on murdering us.
Well, yes, they definitely plan on murdering us. We have found their secret lair. Which is why I propose that we somehow make these people fall into a boat and then lock them in the float so that they are stuck there until the authorities arrive. Because I did tell Randall to send authorities.
But didn't they just leave? Ain't that the front door?
They're about to leave, but the whole warehouse is a dock. Like, there's docks everywhere, so they're not quite there yet.
I mean, at the moment, they don't know we're here. So I would probably say let them go to one of our houses and let's just have an ambush for them there.
Oh, well,
that's good.
Fun.
I don't know that you've really solved the murder yet. So what do you all think happened?
So the red-headed man killed John.
Yes,
for sure.
But why? So Joan is
and how and where.
Yeah, so Joan wants to obviously continue to have the parade. And so I'm assuming, either contracted this person or coerced this person to murder John, probably at the warehouse when they met. And again, maybe he's big enough to take him back and like stage him.
But they were found.
Well,
but
his
dead body
chair,
was found in the office.
he
That's
was,
where he
and
was
his
found
chair
dead.
was bloody and all that stuff. I think he waited until he got back into the office after the meeting and then stabbed him.
So maybe he followed him back, or did Joan get him when he came back? Like, so which one did the stabbing?
Well, I believe the man did the stabbing because we found the dress shoe. We found the man's shoe print on the stair that was bloody coming down the stair. So somebody came up into the office, stabbed him, got their shoe dirty, and came back down the secret stair and left the body upstairs.
And then Joan, who was the woman that went in, she's just there to make sure nothing went wrong? Or was she there to specifically make
She
sure
found
that
the
the
body
other
later.
woman... Well, no, the on the camera, there was a woman that they think is the other woman, Ortega, Anna. But now we
but I
know
thought
that
it was clearly her, though.
It was
Wasn't
clearly
it?
her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was clearly
He
Anna?
he was just not, John was not in the office when she was there. So he had been at the warehouse at 2:30 instead of meeting with Miss Anna. After their meeting, supposedly it was an argument about this land deal versus the parade. After that argument, he came back to his office and got stabbed in his office.
So we're saying that the man did that. Okay, so then Joan couldn't have been anywhere near, because she would have been on the cameras.
Yes. I don't think
Okay.
she had any part in the actual murder, but she clearly supports the action.
Yeah, I would say she's the boss.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that sounds like a theory. So you can roll. You got 7 clues, so you'll roll with +1.
Nice. Who's rolling?
It sounds like you put all the dots together, Esther.
How many do I roll? Just 2?
2d6, and you'll add add 1 to it.
Okay. Oh, not bad.
Hey, that's good.
Is
All
a
right.
9 plus 1 is a 10.
All right. It's the correct solution. The keeper will present an opportunity to take down the culprit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do you want to go ahead with what you said and like figure out where they're like we'll jump ahead to one of your houses?
Use the barn.
Probably, yeah, I was gonna say Marilyn's because we've already been there. So you get ahead of them and you're waiting.
Yeah, in my fast car.
How do you
That's
want
how
to
we
set
get
this
ahead
up?
of them.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Oh, what was your question? Sorry.
How do you want to set this up?
Do we want to just make sure, have the police there waiting and then they just pop out, or do we want to do some sort of Home Alone style rigging of traps?
I think we have the police outside of the barn, stationed outside of the barn, and we have PB Bark inside of the barn. They come in, and then the police come in to catch them, because then they have nowhere to run once they're stuck inside the barn.
Okay, so we're luring them to the barn by making them think that we're all still in there, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Do we all want to actually be in there or no?
Well, I would love to just be in there, just to see their faces when they get caught.
Yeah. So, like, mechanically speaking, you got a full success on that. So it's not going to be like a danger to you. I'm not even going to make you roll anything else. So think about like what scene you want to see as the end of this story.
Just like on the
Yeah.
upper
Is it
part of the
everyone?
barn, just looking down at them like, you have been caught.
I even
Mhm.
like it better that we're just at the table having our tea and our
Mhm.
crumpets and being like, oh, wow, look who's here, lady. And they come in and they're like, haha, we got you, you old biddies. And then all the police come in and we're like, oh no, we got you.
Roll the credits.
Nice. I like it. Yeah.
It's like, would
Yeah.
you
So
like
they
some
like
tea and crumpets?
kick the
And then
door
we
in
give
and
everybody cookies.
right. And that police officer that you poisoned earlier is there too, just looking a little off.
Oh, poisoned is a harsh word.
Yes, he just had a nice
Uh,
time.
Mhm. Those are
We
happy
had some of
Ooh.
her happy brownies.
The police
Now,
officer
here you go.
you medicated earlier.
Here you go,
Exactly.
Officer Malcolm. Now, these brownies aren't so special.
Okay, so yeah, you capture or you get these miscreants captured. They would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling old ladies. And
And your little dog, too, because we have one.
yeah,
We have
right.
a little.
Mr. Stein is appreciative, and Ana Ortega is released, and everything goes back to normal in the little town of Brindlewood Bay. And I think as just a little close on the night, we'll jump forward to Thanksgiving Day, and the three of you, maybe together, maybe separately, are gathered alongside the canal. Or I guess maybe Girty's not. She had to go to her daughters. Anyway, some of you are gathered alongside the canal watching these huge floats move along, kind of cheering crowds and people on the floats throwing candy and music and all sorts of festive atmosphere. And you catch a sight kind of through a gap in this big turkey of these shadowy figures arranged in a ring, moving in sync inside of the body of this huge fake turkey. And then we'll roll
Now.
credits.
Sacrificing someone.
Could be.
See, I told you they were going to take over the town with turkeys.
All right, that was Brindlewood Bay.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I really thought you all were going to wait until morning and then actually talk to more people, but
No, we want to get everything done that night.
Nighttime.
That was a late night.
Also, in the morning, we had to go to all of our relatives' house for Thanksgiving.
Don't forget that you can listen to the podcast on the Agent Journey Podcast website, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Links will be in the description below. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. You can support the podcast on Patreon and join our Discord. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.